Hi, Megan Brown here from Boards by the BakerMama, and I am here to show you how to best take care of your board so that it will last you a lifetime. Just a few simple steps every few months will have your board looking just as good as new. I use my boards often, so I like to treat them every month or so, depending on which board it is. I usually recommend that you do it every 2 to 3 months. So if you have a board that you use regularly, you want to treat it probably every month. If you have a board that you don't use as often, as you notice it starting to look a little dried out or a little spotty in places, it's a good time to redo your board with some just few simple steps. Let me show you how. First, we're gonna wash it with just a mild soap, which is what you should do after each use. Just very little amount of water, a mild soap, a quick scrub, a rinse, and then you completely let it dry. After that, you'll use a food grade mineral oil. You'll just put a little bit on there, a little goes a long ways. And I always say to do both sides because you want to keep the wood even all around. So if you're cleaning the board, clean it on both sides. If you're oiling the board, oil it on both sides. So you'll want to do that step. You'll let it dry for overnight as well. And then you'll do a wax coating. So if your board has been really worn and used a lot, I always say do the extra step of the wax coating. And you'll do the same thing as you do with the oil. You'll just put a little bit on, massage it into the wood, and honestly, it will just bring the wood right back to life. It just turns so beautiful. Let me show you how. Okay, so I'm gonna wash my board first. Just use a very mild soap and some lukewarm water. So I'm just gonna use a very mild dish soap, put it on there. I like to use a soft scrub brush. If you have tough stains, feel free to use a harder brush to really get out the tough stains. But you'll want to wash it gently, get it good and clean, and do it on both sides so that you can keep the wood even as far as how much it's been exposed to any sort of water or oil. So a good scrub going, and now I'm just going to gently rinse the board. You do not want to soak the board, okay? You just want the board to have enough water to rinse off that soap. And that's all there is to it. So I'm gonna dry it really, really well with a nice towel until all the water that you can see is removed. Now, some water has seeped into the wood, so that's when you really wanna let it air dry for overnight or at least 3 hours. Let me show you how I prop it up. Okay, so then just prop your board up overnight so that both sides get a good amount of airflow and even dryness. Let it dry completely. That is the key. Okay, now that our board is completely dry, we're going to use the food grade mineral oil. Just a very simple mineral oil. You'll drizzle a little bit. Like I said, a little goes a long way. You can use a nice oil applicator that will really get the oil built into the wood, or you can just use a soft white dish towel. So I'm gonna get that in, and then I'm gonna come over to this side and do the same. Just like I said, treat both sides so that it stays nice and even. The wood is treated all around well. Now you have a good coating on there. I like to come in with my towel and just wipe off any excess, because you're gonna let this dry too overnight and let that mineral oil really soak into the wood and protect it. It's really a good protector. So then you'll dry that. So it's already looking good and new and bright. It just really brightens up that wood. Okay, I'm gonna prop it up as well. Use this, but use whatever you can to get the board nice and propped up. So I'll leave that there until it's completely dry, at least 3 hours. Okay, now that the mineral oil has really dried into the wood, you can see that it looks good as new. And you may just can stop there. If you don't use your boards that often, just a nice coating of mineral oil every so often will take it a long way. But if you do use your boards often and you're noticing that they're drying out faster and faster, you can use a natural wood wax. It has a combination of mineral oil, carnauba wax, and natural beeswax. And this just really coats it and really helps protect it from soaking in any of the foods or anything you put on the wood. So again, a little goes a long way. I'm just gonna drizzle a little on there, and I'm gonna use a dish towel and rub it in, and you're just massaging it into the wood. And it just really shines it up, makes it look good and new. Look at that wood. And these are years old. This board itself is several years old, and it looks good as new. So do both sides, and then prop it up and let it dry for another 3 hours or so. Okay. So like I've said several times, treating your boards just every so often will expand the lifetime of them. They really should last forever. So just be sure and take real good care of them. There you go.